Fortnite Battle Royale is one of today's hottest games, but while it's easy to learn the basics, it can be challenging to actually improve as a player, especially with Epic Games constantly changing and updating things while millions of more experienced players try to off you the whole time. Luckily, we've compiled a quick guide to get new players up to speed and collecting wins as fast as possible. Here's a look at some of the biggest mistakes you're making in Fortnite Battle Royale. You're a coward. When you've got 99 other players skulking around, looking to shoot you, things can get stressful, so looking for comfort in the bushes or in one of Fortnite's abandoned structures seems tempting. In fact, patient players can often sneak into the top 10 just by avoiding conflict. There's a big cost to playing too defensively, though. Eventually, you have to fight, and if you don't know your way around the game's weapon system, you're a sitting duck. Plus, loot gets funneled to people who defeat opponents. If you hide for the whole game, at the end you'll be stuck with whatever random crap you found, while your opponent will be armed with all the best equipment from the rest of the island. And it's hard to win when you're that badly outgunned. Building a winning strategy. Epic hasn't denied that Fortnite Battle Royale is heavily inspired by PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. What makes Fortnite special, though, is its unique crafting system, which allows you to gather resources and use them to construct stairs, defensive barricades, and even entire fortresses, all instantaneously with just the quick press of a button. Someone shooting at you? Quick, throw up a defensive wall. Need to get from here to there a little faster? Try constructing a ramp or set of stairs instead of running the long way around. And when it comes time for the final showdown in the Eye of the Storm, setting up a fort is crucial to survival. Of course, in order to build, you need materials. One mistake many new players make is not gathering enough crafting materials at the start of the game, when it's much safer and easier to do so. You definitely don't want to be trying to chop down a tree during the final battle. Instead, make sure you gather plenty of materials early on with your trusty pickaxe, so you're ready to build when it's really necessary. Crafting comes with risks, of course. Gathering materials takes time and makes noise, and player-built structures stand out on the map, potentially giving away your location. But in the long run, it will help you survive, and survival is the name of the game. A poor craftsman blames his tools. There are 3 different types of crafting materials in Fortnite: wood, brick, and steel. Using the right material can have a big impact on your chance of survival. Crafting materials have 3 different statistics: starting health, max health, and rate of growth. When you first put down a structure made out of a given material, it starts with a given amount of health. As time goes on, the structure gains health until it reaches its material-determined maximum. Wood structures start with the most health and grow the fastest, but have the lowest maximum. Steel is the opposite. It's weaker than wood at first and takes longer to grow, but it has the most health overall. And brick is right in between the two. This means wood is great if you're dropping walls to block incoming attacks, but it doesn't result in durable structures. Plus, it has large gaps that reveal your position to the enemy. Steel is perfect for building towers and bases, but using it to deflect bullets in the middle of a firefight is a bad idea. And brick isn't really as useful as either one, but it's a lot more common than steel, so it's a good backup. Get organized. Gathering the right gear and weapons is only half the battle in Fortnite Battle Royale. You'll also need to have the right weapon equipped at the right time. In a game like this, firefights can be quick and brutal, and you don't want to be caught fumbling for the correct gun while your enemies pump you full of lead. In order to keep everything straight, many players recommend putting the same class of weapon in the same inventory slot every single time that you play, which will help you keep your buttons straight when the bullets start whizzing past your head. If you don't have to stop and think about which button does what, you'll save a few precious moments during battle. And in Fortnite, having the right weapon equipped can mean the difference between a winning run and a quick trip to the elimination screen. Flying blind. All players in a match of Fortnite Battle Royale start in the same place, the sky. As such, you need to select the right place to begin your descent onto the playfield, and also make sure you reach the ground quickly. Thankfully, there are a couple of tricks to help you with this. For one, don't open your glider on your own. It'll deploy automatically at some point, and since you'll fall faster with the glider stowed away, the longer you can remain in freefall, the better. Secondly, make sure you stay over flat, low-elevation terrain like open fields or rivers. The glider emerges based on the height of the ground below you, so if you're falling over mountains or other high points, you might trigger the glider before you're ready. That means a slower descent, which means that your opponents might take all the good stuff before you hit the ground. Don't let that happen. Fall smart and fall fast. Keep your ear to the ground. You know that part in every movie where someone's like,
Sure is quiet out there. Yeah, too quiet.
Well, Fortnite Battle Royale is just the opposite. While most video games rely mostly on visuals to communicate with players, Fortnite leans heavily on sound, so it's vital that you listen for footsteps and gunshots to let you know where your enemies are. Not only that, but treasure chests also make a ringing sound when you get close, so if you hear that, it means there's a pile of loot somewhere close by. Since sound in Fortnite is even directional, investing in a good pair of headphones and turning down the music will help you pinpoint exactly where the bad guys or the loot may be hiding, and that could mean the difference between winning and losing. Standing tall. Unlike PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, you can't crawl through the brush in Fortnite Battle Royale, but you can crouch. And crouching actually has several benefits. While it does slow down your movement speed, it also makes you a smaller target. More importantly, it makes your weapons more accurate, and it makes you quieter when moving. Sneaking up on an enemy who doesn't know you're there can lead to some very easy and very satisfying victories. X marks the spot. Here's Fortnite Battle Royale's worst-kept secret. Chests don't spawn at random. In fact, Fortnite Battle Royale's map has a finite number of chest spawn locations, and while every match has fewer chests than spawn points, the chests won't appear anywhere other than these predetermined locations. Luckily, online resources have mapped out all the potential chest spawns. Memorize both chest locations and good spots for gathering materials along the way, and try to steer clear of spots that seem too popular with other players. Ultimately, the goal is to commit a few reliable routes to memory. That way, you can get off to a good start every time by popping open those glorious loot chests. Know your map and pillage your way to victory. Grave Robber. Ransacking the bodies of defeated foes is a great way to pick up crafting supplies, consumables like bandages and medkits, and better weapons. But you want to be careful. For one, firefights are noisy and attract lots of attention. As a result, you never really know who's watching. Striking down an opponent is exciting, but don't rush right over to a corpse to take your spoils. Looting bodies leaves you vulnerable, and savvy players sometimes camp during other players' skirmishes and pick off the victor when he or she starts plundering. Even more importantly, if you have a full inventory, equip your pickaxe when looting corpses. If your inventory is full, when you pick up weapons, you'll drop whatever's currently equipped. When looting a body, it's easy to accidentally drop one of your favorite guns and replace it with a weaker one, and you'll waste valuable time while trying to get everything back where it should be. However, you can't drop the pickaxe. Keeping that tool in hand will make sure that you gather ammo, stackable medkits, crafting supplies, and the rest, while making sure your carefully constructed arsenal stays intact. Of course, if your now defeated opponent has a better weapon than you, go ahead and grab it. Fortnite Battle Royale can be brutal, and you're going to need every advantage you can get. Thanks for watching. Click the SVG icon to subscribe to our YouTube channel, plus check out all this cool stuff we know you'll love too.